Hi, and welcome to the Arduino Maker community, Kickoff #1. This is the kickoff, and I know it's in the middle of the summer, and people are probably on the beach and stuff like that, so it's just me here today. I thought I would start off by um, talking a little bit about the different Arduino boards and the basic setup for starting and experimenting with the Arduinos. First, I'll try the sound. So, do I have the sound going? You see, is there sound coming through the speakers? I can see there is some sound coming from the speakers, so it should be okay. So we should be set for we should be set for that. Okay, we'll try. So basically, the standard Arduino setup would be something like this. That is a Uno board with a breadboard mounted on a breadboard holder and with a battery pack of 6 AA batteries, 9 volts, connected to the Arduino board. These Arduino boards, the Unos can be, I started buying them for like 24 bucks, and then I found copies, Chinese, so you can get them for like, I think they're down to like $4.50 now. So this one is doing the basic blinky. This one is set up with the potentiometers, so we can adjust how much resistance is going through the potentiometers, and then we can change the frequency on the LED to match that. See? Here we have a board set up with an RGB LED, and it's going through the script that changes the colors first by going through its different colors by combining the 3 red, green, and blue colors, and then doing a sweep through different medium colors by adjusting the intensity for the red, green, and the blue. Here we have one board set up with a photoresistor, so that this one is the photoresistor down here. So when I hold my finger over it, you can see the light goes off because we are changing the intensity of the LED by how much light comes through the photoresistor. These are all common first steps on your way to experimenting with the Arduinos, getting to know the different possibilities. And most people start off with a kit. Like my first forays into the Arduino, I started with this kit from SparkFun. It's a SparkFun Inventors kit, and it has something like 15 different experiments you can do with LEDs, a servo motor, DC motor, and some potentiometers and some let's see here, we have some push buttons, and we have temperature and stuff like that. And this is the hobby motor that comes with them, stuff like that. So when you want to move on from that, you might want to look at the different options for the Arduino board itself. There's a lot of different options, but I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that I have lying around here. Like I said, this is the standard Arduino Uno board, which means that a lot of shields are available to plug on directly onto this board. Expansion shields. But it's not very portable, it's pretty big, but it's very nice for breadboarding and prototyping. So there is others. This is a Pro version from SparkFun also. So this one is it's smaller and it's cheaper, and you have to program it by plugging in an FTD. It doesn't have the USB connection that the other one has, that the Uno has. But it's quite cheap. It's like $9 or something. And if you want to have something that's really small, then you could go with something like this, which is, you can compare that to standard board. It's pretty big difference. That's a micro. This is also from SparkFun. I think it's like $20. This one has a USB, so it's very easy to program. And it has quite a lot of connections input and output. This is the Mini also from SparkFun, or actually this, yeah, I bought it from SparkFun. Yeah. This one is also a professional one. You have to solder on the connections to the FTD, program it via the FTD. It doesn't have a USB connection. Finally, I have one related chip. It's not Arduino exactly, but it is called the TNC 3.1. It is a more powerful processor. I think it's running at 72 megahertz, whereas the standard Arduino is running at 16. And it has more memory, and it also has more input-output ports with interrupts. It's $19 or something like that. So for small portable projects where you want to have more power, it would be nice. You try to fit the equipment for the job, and also the price-wise to get, not to spend too much money for each project. So this is something from Adafruit. It's called a Trinket, and you can get 6 of them for $42. And it's actually based on an 80 Tiny 85. So it's not real 100% Arduino, but it can run quite a few of the scripts and libraries for the Arduino. It's very small, it's very cheap, and also has an USB, so it's easy to program. And if you want to do suitable electronics like e-textiles, then you have something like this, which is called Gemma. This one is also from Adafruit. They have something called Flora, which is the big sister of this one. And SparkFun is selling the LilyPad, which is the original, I guess, which is also very nice for sewable electronics. You can actually wash them, leave them on the clothes, and put them in the washing machine. So that's basically some of the options for boards. Well, let's talk about you want to go tools, maybe. So what tools do you need to do experimentation and making with Arduinos? You would want to have basic tools, I guess. Like these are very nice. They are jeweler's tools actually, and this one is nice for wrapping the legs of LEDs into small loops, so you can sew them onto clothing and stuff like that. It's jewelers, very small, nice for kids also, easy to use. Then you have the standard kind of stuff like this. You need to have a wire stripper like this one. to strip off the ends of the plastic on the ends of the wires. This one goes from 20 to 30 AVG, which is what you want. You're definitely gonna need from 22 to 28 anyway. So that's some tools. You're gonna need soldering equipment, soldering iron stand, um, and soldering tin, lead, preferably lead-free soldering material, and then you're gonna practice some soldering. So you should have something like PCB. Started off buying some of these, like they're shaped like breadboard, and you can get them from like Adafruit or SparkFun. They're quite expensive, so I didn't do that for a long time until I figured out that you could get this stuff from our friends in China. You get small ones like these. Even smaller ones. And a small one. And that one's also different size. This one is just a packet with 20 in 5 different sizes, from pretty small until the this one is 7 by 5, I think, centimeters. Yes. And this one was like $10 or something like that, for 20. And when you have starting to get bigger projects, you can also buy them bigger PCBs. These are also both from China. This is a package also for different sizes, and approximately $30, I think. The pretty big PCBs. So you solder and you get some experience and you get better at it as you go. And what do you need to solder? Apart from your components, you need some wire. So you need some wire. This is solid core wire. Usually this is what you use between the components on the breadboard, also between components that are on the same PCB, for instance. If you want to have stuff that for stuff that goes between different modules that maybe are going to be moved around a bit, then you would want to have the other type of wire, hookup wire. These are quite nice. It comes in 6 different colors, so and you can just you have the wire inside the box. Nice to organize stuff in. And you might also want to get, if you want to use, if you want to do like, if you don't want to solder all the time, you can do wire wrapping. This is very thin wire, very thin, and it's 30, I think. Yeah, or 28. And it's you use a tool, a wire wrapping tool, and then you can just wrap the wire around the ends of the legs of the components instead of soldering them. So that's nice. So you have that. Then you need sensors and motors to be able to sense the environment and do some stuff based on that. So you go to the Chinese marketplaces for that kind of thing. I found anyway. It's the most cost-efficient way, and so you get like packages of these are servo motors. This is like 10 servo motors, really small ones. They are 9 grams, and or you can buy some. These are continuous servo motors. They are a bit more expensive. They are bigger at 38 grams, I think. And they are a little bit more powerful. And you can also get stuff like these are stepper motors. They are really cheap. These ones you can get with the controller for I think $1.20 or something for one motor with the controller. So you want to build stuff. So see here we have built a small robot, mobile robot that has the distance sensor in the front. So it's sensing the distance, and if it gets close to something, then it will stop and maybe back off or go another way. And this one is really minimalistic in terms of, especially in terms of other things besides the parts that you need. This is actually just a battery pack in the back, in the bottom. There's a coaster in the front, and above the battery pack there is the servo engines. Then there's 2 wheels on each side connected directly to the servos. And then there's one Uno on top. And then there's a motor shield on top of that, which is like the shield specifically made for controlling servos or DC motors or actually stepper motors also. You can have 2 servos and 2 steppers and 4 DC motors on this one. Then it's just a breadboard in the front where you hook up the distance sensor and some resistors and a kill switch. So that's how you end up with a very simple Arduino robot. Let's see, what else do you need to get started? Well, a lot of the experiments you're going to run in the beginning are going to be getting to control lights and stuff like that, lights and engines, I guess. So a lot of LEDs would be nice. These you can get. This is a package of 900 with 9 different colors, 100 each. Like that. These are 3mm LEDs. You can get them in 5mm and 10mm. And so I probably have a couple of thousand of these or different kinds of LEDs. These are with the legs, and then you can also buy the SMD ones, that are the ones that you solder directly onto the PCB. That might be for later. So when you have LEDs and you also have some engines, that means you can do stuff, and you can blink lights, and you can move different kinds of wheels or levers, arms, and stuff like that. And you want to have some components to sense the environment. So I guess the one that I showed you would be one example. The robot has a distance sensor in the front. But so I got like 10 of these cheaply from China, $1.20 a piece or something. But you want to have more sensors. So how about let me see, this one? This is a small infrared motion sensor. So it's like for burglary alarms and stuff like that. So you can use it to all kinds of projects. So you can sense if there is some your dog is getting into the room, or no, it doesn't matter. Or if the person is coming into a room or something. So it's infrared motion detector. So you wanna measure the temperature. Do something like this. This is the cheapest version of a temperature and humidity sensor I found. So it's called an ET10. I think it's like $1 a piece or something like that. So, and you want to measure something like the temperature, the humidity, distance to something, and you want to communicate that into the environment, so some people can see it or you can get the information out. So you could use an LCD screen. This is like one of the standard types, in that it has 16 characters by 2 lines. This one is actually a bit nicer than the ones that are standard, because this one has a small controller on the back, so that you can actually only use 2 output pins on your Arduino board to write to the LCD. Otherwise, I think you use a lot, so unnecessarily. So let's go. So next, maybe want to move up to like more modular electronics, like you can buy small modules, like tiny modules, like these. Like this digital compass, so it will tell you which heading your vehicle or your contraption is pointing towards, or moving towards. And you have also like small modules like these that are. This is like a gyroscope and a magnetometer, accelerometer. I mean, so you have like 9 different degrees of nuance. So you can use that on a robot to measure which direction you're going, and if you're accelerating or decelerating. Also if you're going down or up. Very nice. So there's a lot of modules like that available, and they are not so expensive. Also, something that is nice to have is an assortment of photoresistors. It's like a bag of 100 photoresistors, 10 different types, 10 different sensitivities, I guess. And when you want to build your own stuff, you want to have a fairly large assortment of resistors, different types, and you want to have a large assortment of capacitors. These are just some of the, what was it, like 20 different capacitors. And you want to have transistors of different kinds. This is a box of well, 15 different types of transistors. And you want to have stuff like potentiometers, like variable resistors, like these are an assortment of potentiometers. And again, very cheaply available from our friends in China. So, when you have gotten this far, you might be ready to design your own contraption. And one of the things that I'm planning on making is like an art installation or display that tells a story. One of the things that I'm looking towards building. And I will be using something like white plastic board like this. And I will have speakers. I will have holes for speakers. And I will have a display area in the front here where I will use a couple of motors to like project a show of some kind. I have a roll with paintings, say, on the back, and then I will advance it one picture at a time. And at the same time, I have Arduino unit on the back with the music maker shields that will play a story in conjunction with each image. So that's basically what I'm planning to build. It will be a historical exposition, or a historical story about a historical event, I guess, with drawings and pictures that I find, and drawings that I make myself, and then the story will be me narrating some kind of historical event. But I'm hoping to also be able to incorporate some interactivity into the object so that people can kind of push buttons or move something, and different kinds of images, different kinds of parts of the story will be activated, stuff like that. So this is what I had for the first kickoff on the Arduino Maker community. Hope to see you soon.